Hi there folks, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and it's that time of year again. It's nearly the end of 2020 as I film this, and every year here at Sus we like to, just for a bit of fun, compile a top 10 list of the ukuleles of the year. And previous winners of this particular award include a laminate concert ukulele at £150 and equally a £1,200 all solid wood AnueNue Moonbird. We all know that model. And pretty much everything in between is eligible. We're just judging it on the instruments that we sell, the things that customers like to talk to us about and say how much they're enjoying it, and just the general feeling we have towards those instruments as we end a chapter. So the previous winner was the AnueNue UT200 Moonbird, which is still a fantastic ukulele and has been one of the most consistently good high-end instruments for the last few years. But that instrument is exempt from this year's list because it won last year, and it would be very boring if I just made the same video every single year. And we are judging this purely on our own opinion. It's just that, it's our opinion. This list was compiled by myself along with Phil, Gunsy, Rob and Nick. So just us that work here and deal with these things day in, day out. So I've talked enough. We're going to start with number 10. Number 10 on this year's list is the KoAloha Silver Series. The KoAloha Silver Series is the 25th anniversary model made by KoAloha just for this year. Initially, when we signed up to be a dealer for the Silver Series, we were supposed to receive a set amount of these models throughout 2020. Obviously, life got in the way this year and some productions were halted and delayed, and as a result we've ended up with just under half of the ukuleles that we were initially expecting, which has made them rarer and more sought after and more coveted and completely deserving of a place on this list. The Silver Series, soprano, concert and tenor size, you can't really pick a favourite. There's nothing quite like a KoAloha out there, so we're going to give that one a play now for you guys and congratulate KoAloha on joining the top 10 of 2020. The most interesting thing about this list is that we start compiling it around August, September, because it's very rare that new releases filter through after the summer. The way that the music industry seems to be set up is that you have the NAMM show in January and these launches filter through around August, and any summer launches tend to filter through the next year. So as we're filming this, quite often there's nothing new to shout about. But that hasn't been the case this year because delays have meant that certain new models have arrived in November, December, and that's the case with number 9 on our list. This year, number 9 is the Uluru Hoa-Hana series. This was a collaboration we did with World of Ukes, Matt, a friend of ours up in Carlisle, where we had Uluru build us a series of baritone ukuleles in acacia with a cutaway and spruce with oven coal back and sides, and these only arrived for the first time in November and they really did make a splash. We love them, and it's so nice to see a premium baritone under £1,000 available in the market after so many years of there just being this massive gap at that price. So well deserving of being in number 9. It's the Uluru Hoa-Hana series. Oh my goodness, you folks absolutely love this next series of ukuleles. Number 8 on our list this year is the Flight Soundwave ukuleles. Now, we could pick a specific model, and if I had to pick a specific model, I would choose the Diana, because the Diana is the most popular of the models available with a Soundwave pickup. But you do also have the Sophia and the Victoria now as an option as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Soundwave pickup is a pickup made by Double, fitted into the Flight ukuleles that allow you to have inbuilt effects on an acoustic instrument. Inside the instrument is a small speaker or a small transducer that sticks to the back of the instrument and creates a speaker cabinet out of your ukulele. So you have what on the surface seems like a completely acoustic instrument, but as you play it and add effects, suddenly you're in the 1980s and you're in Vice City or something like that. It's impossible to really describe it. I have to just show you guys. Here's an audio sample we did of the Soundwaves back when they first launched. But another absolutely fantastic addition to the list this year. At number 8, it's the Flight Soundwaves. This is the reverb at halfway. Ooh, it's nice and spacious. So let's turn the reverb up full now. Speaker, it's on about 7 out of 10. Just a bit of fun, and it's good. Let's turn that up full now. One thing to note, quite important thing to note, is that if you hold the instrument tight to your body when you play, you will get less out of this. You definitely get more volume. This is tight against my body. Now this is far away. So the trick is not to hold the instrument too close to your body when you play it. Nice, okay. And then finally we can do the delay. Okay, it wouldn't be a top 10 of the year list without AnueNue making some kind of appearance, and this year they launched a new model that really did capture people's imagination. They launched the Lion Tenor, also known as the Laut. Now, I don't know too much about Chinese culture or the kind of Eastern music, but there is a model AnueNue make, and we've seen it twice here at SUS this year, which is bright orange. It has a cedar top that is bright orange with a high gloss finish and very, very nicely graded KoAloha back and sides. And when somebody holds it and somebody plays it, everyone in the room, regardless of their feelings about the ukulele or whatever they are doing, they could be doing surgery. If they hear or see this ukulele, they stop what they're doing and they take notice, because the Lion is just it's like nothing else you'll ever see before or since. It even comes with a colour matched orange case, and I think had AnueNue manufactured 100 Lion ukuleles for us this year, they would have all sold. It's just been as popular as the Moonbird, the UT200, which we talked about at the beginning of the video, a ukulele that just captures everyone's imagination, it seems. But for now, at number 7, we've got the AnueNue Lion Tenor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that one. Okay, at number 6 this year, folks, we've got something completely out there in the complete opposite way to the AnueNue Lion. We have Pete Howlett's Revelator ukuleles. Now, the Revelators need to be felt, heard and seen to be believed, a bit like the AnueNue Lion, but for completely different reasons. Pete is a UK-based luthier that I imagine many of you watching this video will already be aware of. He has been building for over 20 years, just has a fantastic repertoire of high-end instruments to his name, but his most recent design and at the tail end of his career, he has come up with the Revelator, which is a slim-bodied, chambered acoustic instrument that has absolutely no business sounding as gorgeous and as full as it does. We've had several Revelators throughout the year. I highly recommend seeking back through the channel, getting these videos out and having a look if you want inspiration, because I think Pete has found the instrument that will really, certainly in my eyes, will define him and us here at SUS, and there's just nothing not to love about a Revelator. If you want a good quality luthier made instrument that has a slimline feel to it, I very much doubt you'll find anything better in the whole world than a Pete Howlett Revelator. So number 6 this year, well deserved, the Pete Howlett Revelators. Okay, at number 5 this year, we have a ukulele brand that we did not break here in the UK. A ukulele brand that I'd never heard of as recently as May 2020. But when I first saw them arrive at World of Ukes and saw them go live and heard some audio samples, I completely fell in love with. A ukulele brand that's been going for many years, but it's just completely flown under our radar here at SUS until now. I'm talking about Millar ukuleles. Now, it's going to be really hard to pick a favourite model from the range, but let me just explain why Millar ukuleles have risen so far up the ranks and so far up on our radar so quickly. Well, we've had one delivery so far of 14 pieces, and these ukuleles are all very, very different, completely unique, and felt to my hands like instruments that were £1,000 plus. It's going to be extremely hard to pick a favourite model and a single model that will go on this list, but I think based on the customer feedback, the people that have purchased these instruments so far, it's pretty safe to narrow it down to one wood combination that's really stood out. So the ukuleles that we're going to look at today, and at number 5 on the list, are the Millar Spruce and Acacia series of ukuleles, otherwise known as the SP-240W and the SP-260W. Now, I'm going to focus on this one, and you'll hear some audio samples of both of them in a second, but the SP-240W is solid Sitka spruce with acacia back and sides. But just look at the acacia, and it's not just that one. All of the acacia Millar ukuleles are using this really high grade acacia that just deserves to be twice the price of what it is. If you compare this ukulele to a Pono ACD, or you compare this ukulele to many other instruments, perhaps a Kai or some of the high-end Kalas, I think maybe only Flight can rival this in terms of the quality of the wood. And the sound is so good that as I talk over the sound hole right now, I'm hearing the most perfect reverberation. So really, really highly rate these instruments. I've talked previously about them. They have some front, some front rope binding that's pieces of rosewood and maple inlaid in. And then you have that really cool headstock logo with the same front binding. And this model has gold tuners, but the tenor version has a slotted headstock that looks just as cool. Waiting for a focus with those tuners too. Really nice aged tuners with a you'd call it an ivory button, but yeah, just a really nice aged look to it. So that's what we're narrowing it down to, but really any of the Millar ukuleles we've seen thus far could have made it onto this list. But for now, I'm going to focus on the Millar Spruce and Acacia series. Let's give them a play. Okay, and at number 4 this year we have a ukulele brand that have been going from strength to strength. Each year they seem to grow here at SUS, and the public opinion of them and the information available about them grows with it. This is a brand that I remember the first time I held one of the ukuleles from this brand, I remember thinking, well, this is different. I like this. This is something new. I'm talking about Romero Creations, in case you hadn't guessed. And the model I'm talking about, the most popular Romero Creations model of the year this year, is the Replica. Now I'm holding a Replica Koa. They also do this ukulele in mango and mahogany. The mahogany, as you might think, is a kind of more traditional, warmer sound. The mango has some warmer tones, but still has that tropical vibe. And then the one that, my personal favourite, the one that I think really gives the Hawaiian K brands a run for their money, is the KoA Replica. For a similar price to a Kanile'a K1 or a KoAloha KTM00, what you get here is a Vietnamese replica of Pepe Romero, the luthier, his signature models. So the Replica is a traditional spec Hawaiian tenor. What tends to attract people to it is the unique neck shape for ukuleles at this price point. It has a really thin neck depth with a wider 38mm nut. So if you're somebody who plays technical, or you're somebody that has very good posture and you play with the ukulele down here, that nut width just seems to be the right kind of nut width and neck shape to capture your imagination. These models have the planetary tuners, another thing that is modern but has a vintage feel to it. It can be really, really hard to do my job effectively, because sometimes it must just seem to you guys that watch our videos regularly like I just talk about how good things are. But, you know, to be fair to me, this is the top 10 of the year. The Romero Replica was a model that made the customers top 10 of the year. In the top 5, it made every member of staff's top 5 as well. Just a really lovely ukulele, and one that offers a deluxe a bit of flair, something that feels like a very deluxe model for the same price as a Hawaiian standard model, without any kind of drop in quality. I've never held a Pepe Romero handmade ukulele, but I already know from the quality of these replicas just how good they would be, and surely that's the testament to a good instrument that's a copy of something else. Anyway, we've got some footage of the replicas being played earlier in the year, and I'm going to do a sound sample on this one for you now. Okay, and we're back. Now, it might not surprise that many of you to find that Flight have made the list twice this year, because really, if we analyse it and look at the year, Flight had every right to be on this list 4, maybe even 5 times. This time in 2019, as I record this, let's say December 2019, we had never stocked Flight. Our experience with them was one face-to-face meeting with a sales rep that didn't really understand the brand, and it painted a bad picture. But you fast forward 1 month at the NAMM show, Phil and I were very lucky to meet Juliana and try the full range of the Ukes, and it was clear to me personally that as a ukulele brand, they are so eager to please and eager to grow and listen and learn. And we've been working with them all year. I feel it's like being in a relationship. I actually don't remember a time before when we were dealing with Flight, because they've been so popular, and the brand themselves have gone through several different product launches throughout the year that have all been popular. You had the Soundwaves first of all. More recently you had the Centurion and Pathfinder solid body electrics, also very, very cool. But the ukulele at number 3 this year is the Flight Fireball. The Flight Fireball, an early incarnation, existed at the NAMM show, an all solid mango ukulele. It evolved throughout the year, and by the time the ukulele was launched in July, it was a sister model to the really popular high-end Flight Mustang model. So an all solid mango ukulele with an armrest, a bevel cutaway, that really cool Flight slotted headstock, and just so much goodness there. For the price, the Flight Fireball is like a taste of the high end. It's well priced. It does compete well with other things around £500, but if you want something with flair, you want something with a bit of pizzazz and something that's going to get you excited every time you open the bag and look at it, the Fireball is a worthy candidate. When we launched the Fireball, it really did just seem to capture so many people's imaginations, and the first several deliveries we've had have all sold through extremely quickly. And that's been the case with flight models throughout the year, because they really are a brand on the rise, a brand that are listening and learning about what people want. Now, you see, I like to take credit for saying that the mango movement was here and that people were adopting mango ukuleles, but Flight were side by side with me in their own way, finding that with their own audience, and I can't wait to see what that company produce in 2021. In the meantime though, we're going to cut back to a clip from earlier in the year where we looked at the Flight Fireball for the first time, and see what you guys think. Okay folks, and we're getting really close to the top of the list now. We're at number 2, and at number 2 we have a ukulele project that's really near and dear to my heart. We are talking about something that really all started because I wanted a cool new t-shirt. No, not really. This is a ukulele project that started last year. We had some custom Kanile'a ukuleles arrive. One of them was made of all solid mango, and it was drop dead gorgeous, sounded unlike anything else I'd ever heard before, and I knew that when the time came for me to get my next ukulele, I wanted something like that. So at the NAMM show we talked about it some more and made note that many brands and many manufacturers were starting to use more mango, and I was really looking forward to seeing what Kanile'a could come up with. Fast forward to the first lockdown, and I was talking back and forth with Kaimana Souza from Kanile'a, and mentioned putting together a model for myself made of solid mango with some of my favourite specs, and he said, well, why not go one better, why not make a range? And then we went back and forth some more, and then we made a logo using Kaimana's signature, and then all of a sudden we had the Kanile'a Manako. Now, the Kanile'a Manako is very similar to a couple of different Kanile'a models, but with some unique features. So if you're familiar with the KSRT or the KCSC, you'll know that they have the slotted headstock here with this very thin depth, and these stealth tuners, which are about probably about a third of the width of a normal tuner. Very lightweight. You'll note that the instruments have an armrest. This one is mango, so subtle you wouldn't see it, but you can definitely feel it. And most importantly, they will be made of the most glorious looking curly Hawaiian mango. And every single one of them has looked unique, and every single one of them has looked great. So at number 2, this year, in the top 10 ukuleles of 2020, we have the Kanile'a Manako series of ukuleles. Now, what else sets these apart from a KCS or a KSRT? Well, the other thing is the fretboard. So we have these very subtle looking mango fret markers that sit offset, so that when you're looking over at the fingerboard you can see them better, with mango side dots as well to match. And then you have this Manako script logo, which differs in colour from one model to the next. We've kind of kept it fairly random, so each one has something unique. This one is red, but we've tried to use all of the colour palette of a mango to make that inlay unique. And it doesn't stand out too much from a distance, but it's there if you look up close, and that's what I personally wanted from the instrument. So I feel really proud to talk about this. It's easily the highlight of my 10 plus years working with ukulele so far. This instrument is a real world beater. If you want a high-end ukulele, just read Baz Maz's review from November this year, where he talked about how the Manako was a 9.4 out of 10. If you want any more kind of praise from it, check out our other videos. But for now, I'm going to leave you with some audio samples of the range of Kanile'a Manako ukuleles. 4. Okay, and we're back, and it's time for some honourable mentions. So some honourable mentions this year include the Islander AST4 Super Tenor, an affordable super tenor by Kanile'a that has been incredibly popular. The KoAloha KTS4, a ukulele that has been around for 100 years and is once again an overnight sensation. It's been the most popular soprano ukulele of the year. Very, very narrowly missed out on a place in the list, but a really good ukulele. If you want a traditional soprano, you're never really going to get any better than a KoAloha. They are just sublime. The next honourable mention is the Kanile'a SUS model. Now, the Kanile'a SUS model has been on the list previously. It's been around for a couple of years, but after being featured on the Got a Ukulele reviews earlier in the year and getting a really high score, that instrument has suddenly been impossible to keep in stock. We have we don't have any available as I film this right now, so I can't show you one off, but that one actually went very, very high on the customer voted list of ukuleles of the year. But I had to make a decision to cut one, and I felt that that ukulele had been featured to death in previous years. So the SUST is not number one. So what is number one this year? Well, number one this year is a ukulele that featured last year at number 2, and it had only just been launched. It really hadn't found its audience yet, and at the time of recording last year's top 10, hadn't even been available in a tenor size. This year, at number 1, we have the Snail S60s. So the S60C featured at number 2 last year, and the S60T is the one that I really want to talk about right now. So the S60T has been the single most popular ukulele of the year here at the Southern Ukulele Store. Despite not being the most affordable instrument at around £500, this ukulele is solid flamed acacia. Each one looks completely different, each one looks spectacular. It has this fantastic abalone rosette around the sound hole that sets it apart from everything else, as well as an ebony armrest for maximum comfort. You've got this Padauk binding with a yellow streak on the top just to set it off. That doesn't come across too well on camera, but it's much more noticeable in the flesh. You have Padauk binding going up the fingerboard with an ebony fingerboard and bridge, and then finally a slotted headstock with the snail logo and these heart-shaped tuners with the amber buttons. So the S60T is really the main focus of this year's list. The S60C is just as deserving of the #1 place, so I didn't want to leave it out. It has been pretty much as popular. There hasn't been a size that's really stood out, but the S60T has changed the game. I think that Snail were always popular, but now they have really transcended the beginner's price point. They've become a brand that people look to when they are looking for an affordable alternative to a high-end ukulele. They are fantastic, they're well made. We've had nothing but praise to say about them all year, and nothing but happy faces and happy comments on the other end of the phone and emails when people are telling us that their ukes arrived and it's everything they hoped it would be. I don't know what else to say about the S60T. I've been excited to put it in at #1. There's never really been any doubt that this ukulele deserved to be #1 this year. It's so popular that it actually spawned its own scaled back model. Snail released the S20 a few months back, which is the same ukulele without the abalone rosette for people that want something a bit more subtle. Hopefully I remember to put a screenshot of that there now for you, but the S60T and the S60C is where it's at, and I'm delighted to put them at #1 at the list of top 10 ukuleles of 2020 here at the Southern Ukulele Store, as voted for by the staff with some input from the customers. If you stay tuned after the audio samples, I'll be back to show off some statistics and see us out. But stay safe everybody, and I look forward to doing this again with you next year. Okay folks, there you have it, the top 10 ukuleles of 2020 as voted for by the staff of the Southern Ukulele Store. Which one is your favourite? We don't all necessarily have to have the same top 10, and what I thought I'd do just to end the video is share our customers' top 10 with you. So many of them overlap. You can see it here on this side of the screen now. I'm going to just be looking down at a bit of paper, but the KTS4, something I mentioned in the comments earlier on as an instrument that could deserve to be in the top 10 this year but just missed out. It's interesting to see that the customers voted that up there. Flight Soundwaves, that makes sense. AnueNue Lion, that makes sense. Owlcraft Customs, I highly recommend checking them out as and when we have more. They always seem to cause a big fuss and a big hoopla how cool they are when they arrive, and we love them, but we've had so few of them that they've just narrowly missed out on this year's list. The Millar, the SP-240W, that's the concert that I played earlier in the video. Any of the Millars are great though, deserving of being on the list. KoAloha Silvers, obviously. Kanile'a Manako's at number 4. Obviously, now we voted them a bit higher, admittedly, but yeah, I can totally see why they made everyone's top 5. The Snail S60T, that was our number 1, obviously. Number 3 for our customers. But the two interesting ones are the Pete Howlett Revelator. You customers, you people that watch our videos and buy instruments from us regularly, you really like Pete Howlett ukuleles, so it's good to see up in your top 3. I know we voted them a little bit down the list, but I think you have to compare these things, and the Snail S60T is something that we've had pretty much every month of the year. It's always been popular. The buzz around it has been consistent and constant, whereas the Pete Howlett the Revelators have come through 1 or 2, every now and again, and just maybe that put it just slightly down the list for us. And then finally, the number 1 ukulele of the year for you customers is the Kanile'a SUS model. The SUS model missed out on the list this year, but it's still in the top 10 of our hearts. It's a fantastic ukulele. I think the reason it came so high up the list this year is because our customers voted for this about 2 or 3 days after Got a Ukulele reviewed the SUS model and gave it a fantastic review. So I wonder if maybe that accidentally or just a tiny bit influenced the vote. But yeah, the SUS model definitely number 1 in our customers' eyes, and just an honourable mention for us because it's already been featured in the top 10 list 2 other years. So there you go. Anyway folks, this is a very long video. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back probably just a couple of weeks from now with something new to talk about, and we'll be back doing this again next year. Have a great Christmas, enjoy 2021, let's hope it's better than 2020, and if you have any questions you can call me on 01202 430820 or email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk. Thank you very much, take care.